my channel, welcome. I'm going to start immediately by saying thank you to a new patron whose name I have written down here, Damien Zumek. Thank you very much, Damien. Damien's a classic level tier patron and then gets access to all the full instructional guides now. So if you're new to me, I've got full instructional guides on the Patron website. These are like videos that take you from start to finish. Like you start from a blob of silver and I'll take you every step of the way, like showing clearly, explaining how to do it, like from milling it out, draw plates, cutting, bending with pliers, filing, soldering, and very specific instructions about angles and depths and stuff. So that's important because it enables you to make the same thing with the stones you've got. Because I've got the stones I've got here, you won't have exactly the same thing. So yeah, coloured gemstones come in all different shapes and sizes. So I just give you all the information you need to make the same thing for what stones you've got. So that's important to be able to do what I'm doing on the videos. But yeah, not to make it sound too scary for beginners, there's plenty of beginner friendly stuff in there as well. So training you up. And who am I to train you? Who am I? Why do I self-claim that I'm some sort of teacher? I did have well over 20 years full-time experience working as a professional jeweller. I always specialised in hand making bespoke pieces, and I made some very expensive pieces for very wealthy people. And as you may already know, or you can guess easily, wealthy people are fussy. they expect the best of everything. They drive the best cars, they go to the best restaurants, they holiday in the most expensive, exclusive places. And when you make something for them, it's got to be right. It's got to be done right, otherwise they won't accept it. So that's the best training any jeweller could ever get. I got it working for wealthy customers. So what I'm teaching is tried and tested from the most discerning of the customers, so I confidently teach it to you, and you can train yourself up through my videos to become a good jeweler as well. So cool. patron.com/diamondmounter, and there's a link in description. Got online courses as well, check those out. And if not, just watch the YouTube videos for free. Very welcome to do so. Right, there's a quick video I've been doing. Okay, so I've been doing some online shopping. Gucci, Prada, Cooksons. So I've got a new file handle, which I needed for this, because the file handle for that got used for something else, and then didn't have a file handle for that. So that's that. But also, I bought another coarse file. I always need a really coarse half-round file, so finally got around to buying one of those. What else did I buy? I think I bought a smaller flat coarse as well. Yeah, this one needs a little bit of modifying. I'll do that in the video, explain why. Big chunky ass saw blades. I've run out of them really quickly, and it always takes me ages to replace them, so I'm happy to have these as well. This video will be explaining about why I'm buying all this like super heavyweight coarse stuff. And a sheet of brass. I'll explain about that as well. So first of all, my saw blades. Why do I want really heavy saw blades? They are useful. Up until I bought these, this was my heaviest one. I don't even know what that is. I think it's a 440. I wish jewellery saw blade manufacturers would have a better like scaling system so we can understand what size we're getting. They don't make sense really. You've got like 0/8, 0/6, 4, then 2. I think there's a 0, and then there's a 00, and then it goes back up the numbers, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like no one knows what's going on. So you have to buy a few packs before you get what you want. This is what I had. This was 0.25 wide, and the depth of it is 0.5. So yeah, 0.34, 0.7. That might not sound a lot to you if you're new to making jewellery, but those tenths of a mil make a massive difference on the feel and the ability of the saw blade as well. So let's show you a few examples of that. Ring sizings, yeah, rings, they come in different thicknesses. Sometimes you get a big gents ring, like big fat chunk of metal. You might have to size it down, or even you've got to size it up a lot. Might have to put a piece in, you might have to cut a piece out. You've got to cut through it basically. And yeah, a thin saw blade will do the job, but it's far more likely, to break as well. It's far more likely to wander about. So if you're not cutting straight across it, you're cutting a wavy line. That has to be filed back. You're sort of wasting the metal in the ring, and especially if you're sizing it up, you're sort of accidentally sizing it down. You're reducing the circumference by cutting a bad line. So you need a thick saw blade. Anyway, I'm going to try and cut through this thick bit of metal with a thin saw blade. I'll try and do it nicely, and then I'll do it with one of these that I just bought for exactly this kind of thing. There's going to be a massive difference. So anyway, I'll just do it and then talk about my experience. Okay, thin saw blade. I think this is like a cut 440, people used to call them in the trade. I think so. It's not as thin as a 6. Anyway, right, I'll just cut across it and see what happens. Yeah, possible. Cutting slower than I would like. I'm having to be careful. I'm tempted to push it harder, but I know from experience if I do that, more likely to break it. Luckily this blade feels nice and sharp, so it's doing the job. I can tell, the thinner blades, yeah, they do tend to be more prone to wandering one side or the right. This one wants to pull left, so I'm having to adjust it slightly to the right. And I didn't go straight across. I did, I don't know if that shows, I wandered slightly to the left a little bit. But yeah, I've got experience here, so I sort of know what to expect, so I can sort of deal with it before it happens, although I did still wander off to the left a little bit. Yeah, thin saw blades, very agile. They've got their place in the trade, you need them a lot. But for cutting across a big thick bit of metal, it's not really the tool for the job. So let's just do the same thing with the number 2. Beefcake, nice beefcake one. Oh my god, I missed you. I needed these for such a long time. Right, opening a pack of saw blades, yeah, this is what I just got in the habit of doing. Check one side or the other. There's normally one that's a bit easier to start unravelling than the other side. Thin bit of brass wire. Don't just undo them all, yeah? Unwrap it. Unravel it all the way to the end until you're past the teeth on the smooth bit. And then just roll it back up in the same spot. And the reason I do that is, that's not going to be neat, just, there you go, done. And the reason I do that is, throughout my career, I've always had my saw blades standing up in something in front of me, so that's like a tank bullet cartridge thing, it does its job very well. So that's where my blades go. When I've got those all tied together, that bunch of a dozen, just holds them all together. If you have them all separate, you end up having to sort of sift through trying to get one. Now I've got my 2s all together, I can just quickly get them out. I might make a mess, never mind. But they're all together, and then I just pick one out of that, and then just put those back in there. It's just a more organised way of keeping the blades together, and easier to find and get what you want. Okay, so let's get one of these in. The bigger blades as well, you can see the teeth, but I look at them, you want the teeth pointing towards you. But I always touch it as well to make sure I feel the grip of it, so just to double make sure. So if you're not paying attention, it's an easy mistake to put them the wrong way around, or even once or twice in my career I've even put them in upside down. So you go to saw and there's just nothing there, teeth on the wrong side. Okay, go for it. I can really feel it hacking into the metal. Much easier to keep a straight line. Just going straight and not having to adjust it, pull it left or right. So I'm cutting really gently, I'm not pushing hard. And if I was cutting through a customer's ring, if I was cutting through a customer's ring, it didn't go wonky or wavy, so when I straighten it I can just go, there you go, straight. So basically that was a very long-winded way of saying you need thick saw blades and thin saw blades. You need both. You need the agility and the accuracy of the thin blades, but you need the thick ones just to be able to do the job efficiently. Okay, so what else we got? Bought some files and a file handle. It's very unlikely, but if there's anyone out there that watches my videos and you're thinking, wow, he's so clever, here's an example of my brain power, yeah? Online shopping for bits I need. Here's my old file, I need a handle for that file. Okay, cool, got that. Then I proceeded to buy 2 new file blades. Where are my handles for those file blades? Where are the handles, Chris? Didn't even think of it. So I still solved the problem with the handle for that one. Still need 2 more handles. Okay, right, so let's put this file handle on. Trick is to get it on there straight. I hate it. It can happen easily. I hate it. You put a file or handle on your file and it's like slightly like that. You want them dead straight. So be careful when you put these on. So I'm going to push it on. I've done a video in the past about doing this job. So push it on, try and get it straight. And then this is the magic trick. Once you've wedged it in there, tap the back of the handle. And like magic, the file, you can literally see it drawing into the handle. Just mind your hands. That's literally, you'd be surprised, yeah? You'd think that and that tapping it would be the most effective. The most effective way to really put it in there strong is to hold the handle and bang the back of it. Okay, just been rummaging around the in my drawers and found these, so I think I'm going to be alright. That one's used, see if I can wedge something in there. It might not stay in very well. Might be alright. This one might be more troublesome to get in. Let's try it out. You could always open up the holes in the file handles, just drill them out. That doesn't even want to even begin to go in there. I'm going to drill that out. I'll do it later. Power drills in the garage. The Diamond Mounter channel is proudly sponsored by nobody. If you're looking to learn to make jewellery, you come to the right place. I've got nearly 30 years experience making jewellery to a professional level, and I specialised in hand making bespoke pieces to the highest level. My clients were some of the wealthiest people in London, perhaps the whole world, and when I made something, it had to be done really properly to a really high quality level. So, since moving to Japan, I'm not really doing that anymore, but I'm keeping my skills alive by teaching other people to do what I was trained up to do. So, tell you what, I help you out learning to make jewellery, and then you can help me out by simply just clicking like on this video, subscribing to the channel. You can become a Diamond Mounter member, take it a step further, become a Diamond Mounter patron, link in the description, patreon.com/Diamond Mounter. You get a shout out on the next upload, and then you get access to now, and it's still growing, 35 full instructional guides. These are start to finish, complete, step-by-step guides on making individual pieces. So I was told in my apprenticeship, the more skillful you get, the more you need coarse files. And I thought it was a bit strange, because I would have guessed that the more skillful you get, the more you need like thin saw blades and fine files to get things really accurate. I think what it is, what that jeweller meant was, you just more confident. Let's say you've got to file something down to a certain distance, you've just got more ability with your files, so you can just file it down to that line really quickly and easily and accurately with no worries about accidentally going the wrong angles or anything. You've just like got the skills to do it. So you want to work quickly and efficiently, so the best way to like file through metal is with a coarse file. I think that's what they meant. But yeah, as for finishing, just file it the distances you want with a coarse one and then change to more fine ones. But yeah, big difference with the coarse files. I do actually remember having an accident because I started my apprenticeship like the first year. I just had like other people's worn out files to practice with, and then when I first got my brand new file, it just was cutting so fast I couldn't really control it. I was like accidentally filing too much. So they do different grades of files, and the cutting ability of them does take practice to handle. So my brand new coarse file, this was bastard grade. Cool, that's a coarse file. What grade's that? Bastard. Alright, I was only asking. Bastard file. Give you an example of how it cuts if you're new to all this. See that? That's quite a lot of metal to file away. It's a lot of work. This worn out cut 2, I think that was. Be here all day. You can literally hear it. It sounds smooth against the metal. It will do it, but it's a lot of work. Watch the difference between that one and this one. First of all, right, I'm going to did half of it just then. I would actually, doing this job, I would file across it this way. Done it. That's a lot of metal removed, turned to dust. So yeah, like I would file it down. It's actually not that rough, even that finish as well. And then I would smooth it off with this one, get it accurate. I've gone down a little bit of an angle. just straighten that up. And then the weight comes off the file. The movements of it get more gentle. And there you go, ready for the buff sticks. Beautiful. Okay, so there was one more job I wanted to show you with these files. When you get a flat section file, it's very useful to have one with no teeth one side, but all jewelers do this. When you get these, you can't really use it like that because those teeth cut there, they sort of, it's like the metal is like pushed over the edge when it's cut, when the grooves are cut in that side. There's a bit of a step there, so if you are really filing into something and you want with no teeth there, because you don't want to file that, you just want to file down, you are going to cut a little groove in there. That's no good. When you're really making things accurately for jewellery, you can't have accidental little grooves going in places. So they need to be removed. And to do that, I would go to my polisher motor, and where I used to work in London, we had like a really hard rubber, slightly abrasive rubber disc on the polisher mop, and I would just put that on, and then just zip it up and down. It would do it really neatly, and it would just get rid of those teeth, and it would leave it polished and flat and nice. It was a lovely thing to use. I don't have that here. I should probably get one. I've just got the grinding tool that's got like molten plastic melted on it, because I use it for loads of strange little jobs with like toy cars and motorcycle parts and stuff. So I'm not going to use that. That'll scratch it up and be like worse than what it is now. So I can do it with buff sticks and stuff. I may as well just buy that rubber tool because I have needed it a few times in the past. I don't think they're too expensive. But yeah, when you get these files, needle files as well, and you've got the same thing as a needle file, get rid of those teeth that stick over the edge. And then last but not least, I bought a sheet of brass. Feels really thick. What was it? 0.8 mil. Seems quite heavy gauge. Yeah, big sheet of brass because I want to show you a design of box I've created. It's literally the easiest design box I could think of doing. It's hinged, but the hinge is invisible, so that's nice. And it's got rounded ends. It may appear in the first glance quite an advanced thing. Literally the easiest thing to do, and it clicks shut, opens and closes nicely. There's no like weird catch or difficult to make little springs and hinges and stuff. And it's all invisible. So I'm going to do a version of that. This is like a trial run, just testing out the idea. I'm going to do a trial run. It's going to be rounded both ends, and it'll just look like a simple box with no like obvious opening, but it will open and close easily and expose a nice sort of rounded inner edge and just be a nice thing. So I'll show you how to make that idea with this brass.